Some days it's like that, some days it isn't.
Isn't that the truth?
Welcome to the Sports Wrap. George Ringer. We're past the Ides of August, and that means we're getting closer and closer to football season and thus, and so I don't know if that's where you want to start.
Well, you know, I tell you, I was watching the Big Ten channel, and they have College Training Day. And so
Did they finally have the Gophers on there? Because I swear to God, I've been looking for 18 days and the Gophers are never on there.
No, they got the Gophers on it. So, and they started off with a couple of the defensive players that were coming back, Anthony Smith and John Nestor, because as we well know, defense is where it's at. And this is anyway. Hey, they were. They're 7-0 on home games last year.
Yeah.
First time in a long time that I remember that being. And
they tried to pee a couple of those away, George.
They did. In fact, we saw one, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Even to that time, my buddy on the other side says, Lindsay was coming for you, and he says, George is not going to be able to get out of the way. But that's okay.
We had concerns about that.
Yeah. Lindsay made the turn and scored the touchdown.
Made it look good.
But between, I'll tell you, they have 157 starts from the returnees.
On defense or both sides?
On defense.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And so I think that they're going to do real. You got to start with the defense. Offensive is a different deal. But
okay, so they played 13 games because they played a bowl game.
Yeah.
There's 11 players.
Yeah.
That's 143 positions on defense. And how many do they have back?
Well, they have
122, did you say?
Yeah, 157 starts for the returnees. Now, that probably would have been defense and offense.
Because that could be from the year before. I had to think about that statement for a second. Just not from last year.
But Drake Lindsay's a sophomore. And he had a pretty good freshman season last year.
He did okay for himself. Yeah, we hope that he's gotten better, right?
Well, it has to. But I tell you, the passing game, I think probably is intact. But they had 103 yards per game last year rushing. And it's tough to play in the Big Ten when you're only getting 103 yards rushing. So they're going to have to pick that pace up a little bit.
That's up front.
This is the front, and this is where that's going to have to happen. But we'll see what's going to happen. But that must absolutely improve. And every time that they went around all the rest of the stuff, and always came back to their rushing game, and nobody could avoid it, and rightly so. But they're going to start off with Eastern Illinois on September 3rd. Mississippi State, which might be an interesting game, and then Akron on September 19th, and then Washington September 26th, Michigan October 3rd, and there's not only airplane tickets going out to Seattle, but they're going to Purdue and Indiana as well.
Okay.
And so there's trips you can take out of.
We're going to get to take down the defending national champions next year?
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. I feel bad for him. Anyway, that's where the Gophers are. I think they're going to be fine. My sources down in the city say they have a chance of winning 8 games. That's what they won last year. It would be nice for them to pick up another one in terms of upset,
Yeah, you're probably going to lose one that you think you're going to win, and it'd be nice to pick up one that you don't think you're going to.
That's right. Yeah. As long as we don't blow it to Akron or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. I see Ohio State and Oregon were 1-2 in the AP poll. Indiana was 6. So that gives the Big Ten 3 out of the top 6, 8 out of 25, but I hear that the SEC had 9 out of 25. But who can tell at this point?
And who's picking those teams anyway? And no SEC guys would, if you had picked less than the Big Ten, they'd all have conniptions and go crying to their mommies. So, but the Gopher training camp is going full strong, and the boys seem to be having a good time if they can avoid injuries and get some blocking up front. good, strong drive blocking, as we used to call it, and get those running backs scattered in there a little bit, I think they're going to be just fine, because I think defensively they're fairly solid. They're going to have to replace Easterly, who's now banging around the pros somewhere, but I think that they're going to probably be all right. They got good defensive backs. They've got some nasty-looking linebackers. I mean, these guys, they got great big teeth, and it's just they'll be fun to watch.
And who gets to take Perich's spot? There's the
who gets to take Perich's spot. When I don't think you can replace quite Perich, but you can, with the NIL money that's involved, you can get a couple of other people in there as well. So,
absolutely.
And I mean, Coy Perich ran away and all the rest of that. I wish him well. Now, the only thing he has to do is stay healthy. And if he can do that and spend the next year or so, then he's going to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL, and he will make some serious dough then. Not that he's not doing it now.
Yeah, he's making some serious dough right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What about your Minnesota Vikings?
The Vikings, wow.
13-10 win last Saturday at MetLife, but came with a price.
Well, they did.
Lost a body for the season.
Yeah, and and you saw that, and you knew it was bad right away because the coach was over there and talking to him and
praying with him. We heard on the radio.
Yeah.
Praying with him. Gave him a big hug.
And so you know that the injuries. If you got the coach praying over you after an injury, you know that you got troubles. So you've got to feel real bad about that. Now, they've been playing with Baltimore all week. And
practice Wednesday, Thursday, right? And then going to play on Saturday.
Now, I watched one of the training sessions, not from these guys, but they had other training sessions. They go from a progressive scrimmage, 1-on-1, 7-on-7, and 11-on-11.
Okay.
And they've been going, a lot of teams been working this 7-and-7 pitch an awful lot. And so they have wide receivers, the center, and
running backs, quarterback.
Yeah, linebacker, so quarterback.
Everybody but the big guys up front.
Everybody but the bigs, and so, but the 11-on-11. Christian Darrisaw says we still have some work to do, but the first day of practice, not so hot. The second day of practice, Kyle Murray was 4 for 4 in his passes. J.J. McCarthy was 3 for 4 in his passes. By the way, J.J. McCarthy will be starting the game on Saturday.
Kyler's not playing at all.
Yeah, Kyler's not.
They decided that he was going to get his reps against the Ravens in practice, and not in the game.
And not in that's good.
If I hear the first week, well, Kyler's still a little rusty because he hasn't had enough reps yet, I'm going to be ticked off.
Well, and that very well might be a concern.
Although he's a veteran, so he shouldn't need as many reps, right?
My favorite rookie off this bunch is Damon Claiborne. He's going to make this team because, number one, he can return everything, and number two, out of the backfield, he's a streak. He's just a streak, and he picks up a real nice screen passes, and he's bouncing around out there. Once he gets 2 steps, boy, you better be in front of him because you're going to just look at him from behind.
Does that mean he's going to be fragile?
No, he's going to be fast. And so, but fragile, some people sometimes they have that problem.
When they're fast, they don't necessarily they don't hold up quite as well against the beatings.
Well, that's kind of what they say, but he's got a couple of other running backs down there. They're going to have to keep 3 of them anyway, and so I think he's going to be the third back, and he can be used in a lot of different situations. So, slot back.
Did you hear that KOC put out rules for practice against the Ravens and how there would be no fighting? There will be no fighting.
How'd that work?
Well, I heard that it worked okay. Well, I mean, obviously, when guys are going full blast at each other, I mean, there's going to be things that are going to be happening. Somebody's going to trip and fall, and somebody's going to think it was done on purpose or whatever. But apparently, there were no full whatever fights like they had at the Dallas and what was it? Las Vegas? Is that who it was?
That's where it was, yeah.
The NFL fined each team $500,000.
Oh, that's
I'm
way
like,
too much.
might as well fine me $5
Yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe $2 only. If you're going to fine the Cowboys $500,000, I mean that's a pittance. It's nothing.
No, the defense was pretty good. I heard they stuffed old Derrick Henry, which is no easy chore, mind you, a couple of times, and so they're handling the line, and defensively, outside of losing the one back, they got James Pierce. He intercepted Lamar Jackson one play, and then there's another Jackson who playing safety, and he got injured a little bit, and so they threw in what the heck was the guy's name? Jacob Thomas. He's an undrafted rookie, and almost intercepted another one. So they were really looking at Thomas as being able to do some of this work. Dallas Turner and Eric Wilson at the linebacker spots were highlights of the defense. And we've been waiting for Dallas Turner to come around. Well, it looks like he's finally made the turn. And Eric Wilson, he had a nice season last year. And,
absolutely.
And every time you take a look and you thought, this is going to be good. And Caleb Banks is another rookie, and he was highlighted for doing some mean, nasty stuff on defense. So I think that
he's the first round pick. So
he's the first round.
He had some good and some bad last week against the Giants. And, I'll say it this way: if he doesn't show up well, the Vikings will be criticized for years to come for drafting him.
I think he's going to be just fine. And when you have speed, that are like Claiborne, well, hey, you can't coach speed, can you?
We tried for a lot of years. It just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen. So, and I mentioned Darashaw before. He was kind of 3/4 there last year, maybe. The year before, he was out for most of the season. 3/4 there. He is right now the full-time leader of this offensive line, and I think that he's going to show the way. I've never seen him so enthusiastic. When you have somebody that big, that's that enthusiastic, hey, you got to go with it, So he's their left tackle, of course. And right down the line, they seem to be stronger than they were last year. So, where they have it set right now, hard to say. And it's you really can't tell from preseason, as you well know. Too many other things happen during a game, but I think they're on their way.
Let's be hope. It's hope is eternal. It's springs eternal or whatever it is.
Yeah,
so.
it springs eternal, and I tell you, I like J.J. McCarthy. I always have. I liked him when he was a 20-year-old superstar at Michigan. Now he's 23 with the rest of the bunch and not a superstar anymore. But we'll see what happens. And he says his passes were sharp, quick, and he was good releases. And he always had that problem not being able to pass off that left foot. He didn't know where his feet should be when he was passing the ball. And like you said a long time ago, Michigan didn't do a lot of that stuff. And so let's see what they can develop with the kid. And and it's I think they're going to be just fine at quarterback. I don't know who's number one or who's two or who's three, but they'll figure that out.
They will figure it out.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, CFL Winnipeg is at Edmonton tonight.
Yeah, Winnipeg
at
Edmonton
at 8:30 tonight. So that I don't know if I can make it that late on a Friday night. I'm getting too old to stay up that late on the weekend. But Winnipeg's 5-4, Edmonton's 7-3, and that's this is a big one. This is going to be a tough one on the road.
I even had that marked down here somewhere along the line. But
Hamilton versus Toronto tomorrow night. And I'm just going to say those two teams don't like each other a whole bunch. They're in pretty close proximity in that Great White North. So looking forward to maybe getting to watch a bit of football tonight.
Well, just a couple of football notes.
Yeah.
Daniel Flaila
Former Gopher.
Former Gopher, 6'8", 380, and he got traded from the Giants to the Jacksonville Jags. And so we'll watch him in a different uniform. But every time I watched him last year, boy, there's Daniel. You can pick him right out.
Yeah, he kind of stands out.
He stands out. So we'll see what they do with that. And this is an exciting time for football. Like you say, hope springs eternal. Everybody's making their adjustments. And,
we're gonna have actual football in a couple of weeks, a couple of Saturdays. So
yes, we are. And tomorrow they play Baltimore. I think it's a noon game. And so, I know that I should probably have other things to do, but I don't. So I will be watching it.
I don't know if I'm going to watch much of it, but we'll see. Let's talk Twins.
Let's talk Twins.
Let's do the Twins. They dribbled down their leg, lost to Philly in the Field of Dream game, then came home, lost the pair over the weekend. And I'm like, well, it's going to be just like what I talked on the show last week, that they're gonna pee this thing away. They're going to lose to all these good teams.
So what they do then?
So what they do, they go and sweep Atlanta.
Yeah, probably one of the top teams in the National League, and it's just like
the top team in the National League East. And I'm like, what?
And everybody was getting the bat on the ball. There were all kinds of people, and it's just
It wasn't for lack of runs. That's for sure. They were hitting the ball around.
And Buxton is back. And what can Buxton do? Well, he walked once, got on second, an extra base hit, and he's home. So he can hurt you in so many different ways. And like you brought up Josh Bell. Josh Bell has been just a terror. He's got 22, 23 straight games that he's been getting on, and I think he's second in the league or something. This is one of the longest streaks that Minnesota's ever had, and he's got a smile on his face. And boy, when he hits the ball, you can hear it through the television. It is a bang, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Now, I'm what else do I have down here?
Twins are 3.5 out. They're in second place. They're a half a game ahead of Cleveland and a game and a half ahead of Detroit. So I mean, I don't know. They just continue to hang in there.
And they got the Sox ahead of them, and they've got a 3-game series with the Sox, I think, coming up next week.
Next weekend.
And so that's going to tell a lot. But right now, hey, there's a 30% chance that they're going to make that playoff team, and hey, why not? Also, their pitching has improved quite a bit. They got this young Gomez out that's been out 19 times, got 19 wins or saves. I mean, the kid is just throwing stuff. Beginning of the year, he was a little bit off of here and a little bit off of there. Oh, he's throwing junk now like you won't believe.
I think a little confidence as well. Things are going right, so I think he gets a little confidence going there. Twins go to San Diego for 3, and then head to Oakland, and then they come home to face the White Sox. So San Diego will be tough. Oakland should be a little easier, but that's why they play the games, right?
Well, and the other thing is I criticized Royce Lewis at the beginning of the year. He couldn't hit this. Right now, he's a terror on the field. He is hitting everything, and everything's working out for him. I don't know what it is. It's got to be a mental thing. But right now, he's seeing that baseball. He's hitting that baseball, and playing field really well. So. And not to mention Cody Kramer, who's rapidly turning into one of my favorite baseball players anywhere. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's, he's banging baseballs off the wall. As long as he keeps on doing that, he takes the pressure off of Buxton. Buxton can just relax. Boy, he glides everywhere. He glides up to the plate. It's just like walking around, and it's almost a Casey at the bat, except he don't strike out. Well, once in a while, but not very often. Oh, he is fun to watch. He's. I wish I was a little league coach and he was one of my little league players, because we tear a lot of places apart. They're 60 and 63, third place, and they're second place, and they'll continue. with this series, and no, I think they're going to be just fine.
Little League World Series on the tube over here got started on Wednesday. Today already, I think they played like 10 games a day.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like 6 games left. There's already been 2 no-hitters today.
Oh,
So Curacao got one and Iowa got one combined, not one kid, because it's tough to go. It's tough to go the distance in a little league game when you only get 95 pitches. So anyway, two combined no hitters today. Obviously, it's going to continue through next weekend. Lots of baseball, and I think Eli will have one eye on the TV set, keeping track of the boys. So always an exciting time with the Little League World Series. I have to admit.
always, it is. Those kids are having fun.
And ESPN does a good job.
All over the world. You know, you see just how important is baseball? Well, in the Caribbean, it's huge. In Japan, it's huge. In the Philippines, it's huge. American baseball is just kind of, everybody wants to play it. What can you say? I love watching those kids go, and it's...
Well,
Yeah.
basketball?
Well, okay, let's start a little basketball. I want to talk about Chloe Johnson.
That's an interesting. I didn't see that coming onto the stage here, but go ahead and let it rip, Tater Chip.
Okay, Chloe Johnson is the number 2 ranked junior in the country.
She's only a junior?
She's only a junior, and she left Marshall.
She's been playing since before Eli was born, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
he
Anyway.
was. Anyway, this is an example. How does Proctor become a state contender? Well,
You bring Chloe Johnson
you
in
bring
from
Chloe
Duluth Marshall.
Johnson, but Chloe. Then you take a look. Well, did she leave the team? And is this a well? Number one, she is from the Proctor School District. Number 2, Marshall took second in the state last year, and they totally dismantled their basketball program. Which, and kids started leaving wholesale, and all of a sudden, Chloe saw herself holding the bag, and I don't think she's going to hold the bag anymore. And there is one really happy basketball coach in Proctor.
How'd she get eligible? How can she transfer? How can she change schools without changing residency and be eligible?
She didn't change residency. She
That's
lives
right.
in-
What I'm saying, she can't do that. The only way you can change schools and be eligible
would be
if you actually moved, and she didn't move. So how did they work it out with her?
I think, and I also think a lot of teams, a lot of players go from public schools to private schools, and this is exactly the opposite. And on top of that, in my mind, this is justified simply because she didn't leave the team; the team left her. And at this point in time, hey, she's got to go somewhere. She could have gone anywhere in the country and played basketball. Where did she go? She went home to Proctor. And that's where she lives, and so that's where she's going to play. And did we play Proctor this year? Oh, too bad.
No, I heard rumors about this the other day that she was leaving and whatever else, and the whole Duluth Marshall thing is becoming quite interesting because, like you said, they're dismantling. I shouldn't say they're dismantling the programs. They're not able to recruit in the kids that they want or need to stay competitive at the levels that they were at. No baseball next year. I heard that they fired the girls basketball coach. I don't know if that's true. I haven't done my homework on it, and I don't really care.
I think it was financially. It was costing them somehow or other. He had to be paid, and they weren't
going to pay him.
They weren't going to pay him.
And of course,
and he was.
They bumped up their schedule, so lots of travel, right?
Yeah, and on top of that, I don't think that basketball team would have been that basketball team without him. And it's just like
I definitely think I won't even try to pronounce his name, and no offense to him, but I can't pronounce his last name, so I won't try to.
Asihawu.
I had to do it on the radio when I was working at the radio station, and after I left the gym, I flushed it on there. I figured I was never going to have to say it again. So, but yeah, interesting dynamic. Lots of kids. We talked about Moorhead and Fargo kids moving in, and this kid moving there, and Shakopee, and all this other
Oh, I
stuff.
read another one.
It's just amazing how the good players continue to be able to transfer without any penalty.
Well, on top of that, I read an article today. There's a tri-state football team down in South Dakota, and they got North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota players on their team. And so, whatever it is, they're piecing together a team.
The
and,
rich get richer, and the poor get poorer.
Oh, that's a statement of economics.
That's a statement of
Anyway,
everything.
I want to say good luck to Chloe and her parents and her grandparents, Gary and Marcia Doty, who I've known for a lot longer than I should. But good people, and Chloe is a very, very interesting young lady. She has some mental disabilities that she turned into mental assets, and she's an obsessive compulsive. Everybody's been written about it, and I think that's why she went to Marshall to begin with, because it was a small school and they were able to get individual programming for her, which I'm sure was probably pretty expensive. On the other hand, they got the second best junior basketball player in the country. It helps. And so it helps. So, we'll see where they go from there. But anyway, Chloe's gone, and we'll get a chance to see her in Proctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about your Minnesota Lynx?
The Lynx.
9-1 over their last 10. 30-7. Beat Vegas. Saturday night when we were at Bonamassa.
They did.
Beat Golden State Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That's the second place team in the league now. Golden State Valkyries are ahead of the Vegas
And
Aces.
that was 9 till 11:30. Let me clue you, and I sat up for the whole game, and it's just.
I put it on my phone on the radio, and that's how I fell asleep the other night, listening to the Lynx. I'm not saying that it was boring and that it put me to sleep. I just usually I wanted to stay up. I knew I couldn't, so I knew I was going to drift off, and that's the way it was going to be.
Okay, and I will just say this, just ever so subtly, they are the best team in the WNBA, and
I thought you were going to be subtle.
I wasn't going to hit that one too hard, but I don't. For 5 people on the court, for 5 women on the court, they've got the best 5 that I can see. They can hurt you in so many ways. You got Kayla McBride, who nobody ever paid any attention to, and then all of a sudden she takes a break. Who does she get? Courtney Williams, and then you go to Howard at center, and I haven't even talked about the superstars yet. And so, and also, truly an outstanding coach. So if they don't win this year, it's not going to be for lack of talent. However it is, it'll just be lack of mistakes. And the other thing is, I think it's tomorrow night, Indiana plays New York, and those teams have been a bit of a nemesis, and I'm turning into, I hate to say this, I'm turning into a bit of a Fever fan. Now, that'll all change when Minnesota plays them, but I like watching the Fever play. They work really, really hard. Caitlin Clark is incredible. And
did you see the follow that Paige Beckers put on her the other night?
Yeah, that was a good rap.
Well, the hand, the pull, the swipe.
That league is physical, Tim. That league is very, very physical.
Obviously, Paige and Caitlin are two of the biggest stars in the league.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking when I saw it, I'm like, when's the last time we see like superstars like swiping at each other in the NBA? Okay, and I'm like, because the superstars usually get picked on by somebody who's not another superstar. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I started thinking back when Larry Bird and Dr. J got into it, 40 years ago, whatever, 35 years ago, whatever that was. And I'm like, well, those are two pretty big superstars.
They were
at the time.
And when you talk to them, 2 of the mellowest guys you'd ever want to see.
Yeah.
And it's
very competitive, but usually didn't get into that fighting, swinging thing. So Paige and Caitlin getting into it the other night was just part of the game.
Part of the game.
I said Paige got a little pull on the arm, and Caitlin didn't like it, and then they start yakking at each other. Yeah, it was good.
It was good, and they're highly talented, very physical athletes. On top of that, they're incredible businesswomen. On top of that, they put on a swimsuit and they're beautiful models. I mean, they are out there making a career out for themselves, and it just wasn't like that 20 or 30 years ago. And here it is. These guys are just doing it, and they're getting better at it. And you can say, you know, Caitlin Clark this and Angel Reeves this and all the rest of that stuff. The fact of it is, everybody's going to watch them play basketball.
Yeah, I noticed that. I told you that when I went and watched the Lynx in June, they had the curtains down, and it would only hold just over 10,000. Although when I went the last time, the curtains are gone.
Curtains are gone.
And now the crowds are averaging around 13,000. Think about that. I mean, 13,000 is a pretty good number for any league.
And I don't know if you know this, but the tickets aren't cheap.
I'm aware of that. Tickets are not cheap to go watch the Lynx. No.
Anyway, they're 30-7, 4 games ahead, and 6 games ahead of Las Vegas as well. So we'll see what happens.
Play the Mystics tonight, Golden State on Monday, and then they get 6 days off until they play their final game before the World Basketball Championship break. And then they don't play again until September 18th. So,
well, they get a little break then.
So they got another break coming.
No, and Olivia stepped on Collier's foot the other day, so she has a slight twist anyway. And not that, I mean, hey, she beat you on one leg. One leg.
One leg. I think that sounds right.
One leg. That's pretty good.
U.S. Open starts, Tennis Open starts on Sunday. Jannik Sinner announced today that he is out with his knee injury, so there goes the number 1 seed right out on the top of the gate.
Yeah.
But who's coming in? Carlos Alcaraz, who hasn't played since April. All of a sudden, he's ready to rock and roll. So we'll see if he'll step in and fill that spot, not in the seed-wise.
And arguably, he's still the best tennis player in the world. And it's
arguably could be the best tennis player in the world. So he comes back into the mix. So that'll make things a little more interesting. I'm looking forward to watching some U.S. Open tennis. It's always fun to see what's happening. I think if I remember right, the Williams sisters are playing in the doubles.
Okay.
So that'll be a big deal. And of course, ESPN will have that on the air as well. It's going to, like I said, for the next 2 weeks, starting on Sunday. It'll be fun.
I know Serena's lost some weight because I see her doing commercials on TV, and actually, she looks pretty good. But hey, the Williams sisters, what a story! Just absolutely what a story.
Keep hanging on.
Keep hanging on.
Golf, pro golf playoffs are in full swing. Scotty won by, what did he end up winning by 7 shots last weekend?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, whew, he hadn't won in age. He hadn't won since what, January? Everybody was beginning to get nervous, and he looked great. They had 70 players last week, 50 players this week. Next week they'll have just 30 players, and they'll be getting ready to crown their champion here for the season. So.
Once he gets rolling, he's really, really hard to beat. And there were some people that were killing themselves to catch up. They just didn't have it, and I noticed that they were either out or on the 18th hole, and you know, he was just keep on chipping them in.
Yeah. Still the best player in the world, even though he hadn't won. That's the scary part.
He's incredible.
Some weeks are like that.
Well, you know, and we always thought that when Tiger was coming up, oh my God, he's the best player in the world, and this is the way life is always going to be. No, there's all kinds of people wanting that position and capable of doing it. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but no, they're pretty good team.
What else you got? Anything?
Yeah, look, I want to talk about, and I haven't done this before, but this is the 93rd season of the UMD Bulldogs, and I'm partial to the Dogs, as are you, and so this is the first time this year, on August 27th, they play Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. And as I recall in D2 football, Slippery Rock was always a pretty strong football school, and so we'll see what's going to happen from there. And then September 3rd they do Augustana, which is it's rated in, well, I don't know, in the top 10 in the nation, and probably, I don't know, third or fourth in our conference. UMD, I think, was ranked 12th in the nation.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
And so now they just have to go about and replace that tank of a quarterback they had last year, and see where they go from there. So, but hey, you always got to pull for the dogs. They play Augustana, Wayne State, Winona State. They're at Moorhead. That'll be on September 26th. That will be a big game. And Southwest State, Northern State, they got to go to Bismarck because, well, it's a long ways away to play Mary. And they come back for Jamestown, and then November 7th. Not that this game means a lot to me, but it's Bemidji State, you see. And if you have maroon and gold over green and white or whatever that color is, you kind of
You
got to...
probably should get your grandkids ready to go to that game so that we can...
I made a suggestion of it, and that's the opening day of deer hunting.
It is the opening day of
And
deer
so
hunting.
I don't think, and the last time we went to a UMD Bemidji game, UMD won, and they didn't talk to me for a couple of weeks.
It's okay.
No, I
They
think,
got over it.
well, yeah, they don't remember anymore, but boy, I'll tell you, they were they were tough. Anyway, UMD was 10-2 last year, 9-1 conference, and they're after their 22nd NSIC title. So we'll see what happens, but hey, they consistently put out really good football teams, and outside of a few heartbreaks against BSU and Augustana and Mankato and Northern.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, let me see what else I got. That might do it.
That might do it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're done, how was Bonamassa on Saturday?
You know, it wasn't that we had the expense of the tickets or the expense of the room. It was the expense of me buying albums Monday morning. and they came in today, but I noticed the tab on the albums, and it was like $155, and so says you got to quick go on the concerts because you come back. So I've got them when I leave here. I'm going to go home. I just got them today, and I'm going to be playing some.
You're going to be up in the solarium with the TV on
is going to be
mute
cranked.
and Bonamassa on the stereo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it was as good a concert as I've been to for a long time, and it was, I expected the crowd to be a little bit bigger than it was, but it was a nice right size, and it's, and so, and I even had a request from a friend of mine to go out to Bend, Oregon, on the 22nd of September to see Shamika Copeland, and I would love to have gone out there, but I have other things to
Other
take care of,
commitments.
so, other commitments. So
Yeah, Bonamassa was definitely worth the trip, the long ride to Treasure Island, outdoor amphitheater. We had fun. It was a good time. Enjoyed the trip, and hopefully we'll find an excuse to go watch somebody else someday soon.
I'll never forget what my wife said when I brought in the box. How many albums did you buy?
Yeah.
So it was, you get inspired when you see genius like that. Here was a kid, and I've seen pictures of him on YouTube when he was 12 years old, picking guitar with B.B. King, and here is a real prodigy, and they called him a prodigy then, and he's just growing into it. So
he sings while he plays the guitar like you can't believe.
No,
it's
yeah,
pretty scary.
It's
something to see. If you've never listened to Joe Bonamassa, you should take a chance. I sent Eli a video, and he said, "This is the blues. It's the blues, baby."
And the last song he played was called Mountain Time, and he did his little picking down here, boom, 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 for about 6 or 7 minutes, and I had goosebumps the whole entire time. And he was just playing 3 strings, but he was doing it so well.
What about ZZ Top? Lost another band member this week.
The only one without a beard, and his name was Beard. So, you know, but I remember a number of years ago, and Sue said, do we want to go see ZZ Top? And I says, are you kidding? And she got us a second row center ticket, so I was able to watch Billy Gibbons do his Genius, and they were all three of them were together. A very little trios have ever made that kind of racket ever, and you know, and so anytime that I play ZZ Top, like, you know, Well-Dressed Man, of which I always am, or LaGrange, you gotta, you know, you kind of got to get into it. So I feel real bad, but Billy Gibbons is another one of those guys. I'm born in Texas, but my heart's in Mississippi, and it's just so he can wallow and do all the rest of that stuff. He ain't going anywhere for a while, and I hope he doesn't. And the other problem is they're all my age. I mean, exactly my age, and so that's a little bit scary.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to everybody next week. By the way, don't forget high school sports will start on Thursday. Cross country and volleyball got their first matches or games or meets of the season, so it's here.
This coming Thursday.
It's next Thursday, the 27th.
You're busy.
It's going to be go time.
It's going to be go time.
Thanks, everybody.